1800s, which was the Catholics versus the Protestants. In my book, it is the Augustinians who worship the saints and the Emilianites, named after Saint Emilio, who is a patron saint of orphans. The Emilianites don't believe you should have to pray to a saint to pray to heaven, to be heard. And war. I think you should only pray to saints. Well, I think you should be able to pray directly to heaven. Hundreds of thousands of deaths. And that's pretty typical of
that's
of
absolutely typical. Little things like that aren't important to us now were all the hot topic back then, and wars were formed over issues like that. So I love that you have this rich world building that comes from our own world. It's kind of tempting sometimes to just start from a completely clean slate and build worlds from scratch. And the danger of doing that is we often lose a lot of the richness that we could draw upon that's all around us in our history and our culture. So I really appreciate that you've drawn on these elements.
It was really important to me to make sure that I covered all aspects of society. I realized at LTUE that I don't have any sports represented, which is a very major part of a society. There are no societies on our world that don't have a sport. I mean, everything from hitting a horse's skull with a goat in Turkey to the Brazil Cup. Everybody has sports. Sports are very important. And I hadn't even thought of that, but I made sure that I covered all the religions. I covered the calendar, because the calendar would be different from our world. Different books dictate the way that society is written in the books that I wrote, that sort of thing. But yeah, this story, the impetus for the entire story was literally, I was researching who was king of France in 1576, because in the SCA, my persona was from 1576. And what I did was I just looked up the lineage of France. And what I found out was that Henry III, who was known as Alexander Angoulême before he became king, you change your name when you become king. I mean, you don't have to, but most of them do. He took over from his brother, Charles Maximilian IX. And all it said was Charles was married to Elizabeth of Austria, and they had a daughter named Marie Elizabeth, and the daughter died when she was 2, and Elizabeth died the same year, and Charles died 2 years earlier than that. But that Charles's illegitimate line with his mistress, Marie Touchet, went on for several generations after that. And I looked at that and I went, holy crap. Did this guy name his legitimate daughter after his mistress? And it's like, yeah, he did. His legitimate daughter's name is Marie Elizabeth.
So how did that get past his wife?
Well, I believe she's named Marie Elizabeth because Catherine de' Medici was Charles and Alexander's mother. Catherine de' Medici is not a small name in history. She is an absolutely poignant person in French history and very, very domineering. In fact, she controlled Charles's life for his entire reign, even after he was of age to be king without her regency. So it was very, very interesting.
That is fascinating. And once again, I really love how much research you've done, and I look forward to reading your books. Tell me really quickly about your publishing company, about maybe for prospective authors, why they might want to take a look at it.
The Fantastic Journeys Publishing was put together to help people who are going to self-publish anyway. Now, for whatever reason, people decide that they want to self-publish. Some people decide that they want to self-publish because they've walked the regular publishing route, they've been published, and they are kind of tired of that crap. There are people who are self-publishing because they don't think they could ever possibly be picked up. I mean, they're not big enough names. And there are people who are self-publishing because they don't know any other way to do it. When I started my first book and we decided to self-publish, I got taken. There is a lot of predators out there that prey upon people who want to self-publish. For example, I was charged $500 to convert my book into an electronic book.
That's the red flag right there. If they're asking for money up front, you probably shouldn't go with them. Would you say that's true?
That is 100% true. For the most part, money needs to always flow toward the author. Now, the only time that that's different is in self-publishing. And in self-publishing, you kind of have to anticipate that you're going to have to pay an editor, you're going to have to pay a cover artist, things like that. Well, we learned a lot when we decided to pick my book up after having it effectively ignored. in the self-publishing Predator that we used. And we said, you know what? We don't have to do that. And you don't either. That's the point. You can go on CreateSpace. You can upload your book completely. And you don't have to pay anything. In fact, they'll even supply the ISBN and the barcode. $35 setup fee. So you do not need to ever pay anybody. Heck, you can get a Moby Pocket app for your phone and create your electronic book. You can have it upload for Kindle and Nook. So never let anybody tell you you need to pay somebody hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to convert your book or make it into a self-publishing. That is just flat out wrong. What we do at FJP is we have people who edit because they just want to edit. They want to be able to read these books, and they want to help somebody just be able to learn their craft a little bit better. Now, our editors are discerning. If our chief editor, Brady, feels as though he's going to have to be listed as a co-author because you don't know your craft well enough, he will tell you what you need to do and how you need to study and what you need to learn before you submit, and he will have you rewrite your manuscript with his suggestions. If he reads 3 chapters into your book and he's captivated, he feels like it's worth his time to edit, then he edits it. But he is doing it completely because he likes to read the books. He doesn't charge anybody for it. He just likes to read the books, but he knows his stuff. The guy is good. So we get you in touch with editors. We get you your cover art with people who actually understand how cover art is supposed to work. You have to pay your cover artist for sure because that's your first step of marketing. We have a formatter who does all the formatting for all of our books, and none of this costs you anything up front. What happens is when you order your books, you give us $1 per book. When you order it, we ask for only the printing rights. We order the books through CreateSpace. For that, you get your book edited, you get it formatted, you get a cover artist layout on it, you get our logo at the bottom so it doesn't look like you published it or your mom published it, and you get professional people who frankly don't have any emotional tie to you, so they will give you direct feedback that helps you.
That's awesome. What about the next step? Say I get a shipment of books from your publishing company. I don't know how to distribute it. How can you help me there?
What we do is we sell those books when I get booked at shows. Now, I do a lot of costuming, I do a lot of communicating, and I do a lot of networking. So I go out there, I get booked at conventions such as LTUE, and I do panels. And those panels help people learn something that I need to teach them or they want to know about. Those people find out that I'm actually very, very helpful. They come to my table, they talk to me, and there's your book right there on that table. They ask us about what this book is about. We tell them what this book is about. They pick it up, they turn it over, which is your first step in marketing, and they buy your books. We also have our website, which they can buy the books directly off of there. We have a special price if you want the book signed and sent to you. We send books out to charity situations. Right now we've got a Princess Tea, a Disney Princess Tea that's going on in Kalispell on the 7th of March that we have donated books to, and that gets your books out to an entirely different market. We publish on Facebook and Twitter and communicate all the time with our audiences, letting people know when a new book is being launched, or have you picked up this copy, or have you read this review, or have you visited our blog? And those are lots and lots of ways to get the brand out there, get you out there, and get you actually seen by an audience you would never have time to do.
And the name of your publishing company is what again?
Fantastic Journeys Publishing. You can get to it at www.f as in Frank, J as in jump, publishing.com.
You have a lot to talk about, and I feel like we've only scratched the surface, and I want to talk to you another time so we can learn more about the Middle Ages and your fantastic series. So we'll definitely have to take a rain check on that. Really quick, though, just remind us of your name, your books, and again, how people can connect to you and find out more.
My name is Tanglewist de Holloway, Tanglwyst. I'm the only one in the world. If you Google me, there will be 40 pages of me and then 4 entries at the end of a golf tournament put on by Derry in Scotland. I'm not that. But everything else on that Google is me.
There's very few people in this world who can get away with just a first name. You know, you've got like Jesus, you've got Madonna, and then you've got Tanglewist.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your interview, and I look forward to talking again.
All right. Thanks a lot, Stephen.
I hereby grant you the title of Wizard of Dream Magic, an honorary citizen of New Camelot. In our next episode, I'll be interviewing Margot Hovley, author of The End Begins series. Hopefully we won't have another magical mishap. Until then, as the great Johnny Worthen says, the only way to achieve your dreams is to help others achieve theirs. If you enjoy The Stephen Gaschler Show, please tell your friends and subscribe at iTunes. To find out more, visit stephengaschler.com. That's StephenGaschler.com. Sound effects by freesound.org and music by yours truly.